They said she died years ago, until the night she knocked on the door. At first, no one moved. The sound echoed through the house. Slow, deliberate, impossible to ignore. A single knock, then another and another. Not loud, not urgent, just steady, like whoever was outside knew exactly what they were doing. Inside, the air shifted, because in that house, no one was expected, especially not at that hour. It was just past midnight when the knocking started, the kind of hour where everything feels heavier, where silence stretches longer, and even the smallest sound feels out of place. "Did you hear that?" Clara whispered. Her brother, Daniel, froze in the hallway, his eyes fixed on the front door. Another knock, this time louder. Their mother stepped out of her room slowly, her expression tight, uneasy. "No one should be here," she said quietly. But the knocking continued. Patient, persistent, waiting. Daniel moved first. "Maybe it's just someone lost," he muttered, though his voice lacked conviction, because deep down, they all felt it. Something wasn't right. He reached the door, his hand hovering over the handle. "Don't open it," their mother said sharply, too quickly, too firmly. Daniel turned to look at her. "Why not?" She didn't answer, and that silence said more than anything else. Another knock, this time softer, almost gentle, and then a voice from the other side. "Clara." Clara's heart stopped, because that voice, she knew it. They all did, but that wasn't possible. It couldn't be. Daniel slowly stepped back from the door, his face pale. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. Their mother didn't move, didn't speak, didn't breathe, because she had heard it too, and she knew exactly who it sounded like. But that was impossible, because the person behind that door was dead. At least, that's what they had believed. 7 years ago, the accident had taken everything. A rainy night, a sharp turn, a car that never made it home. And in the wreckage, they said there were no survivors. The reports were clear. The body had been identified. The funeral had been held. The grief had been lived. And slowly, painfully, they had moved on. Or at least they tried to. But now, standing on the other side of that door, was a voice from the past, calling Clara's name. "Open the door." Soft, familiar. "Impossible." Clara's hands trembled. "No," she whispered, shaking her head. "This isn't real." But the voice came again, closer this time. "I know you can hear me." Daniel backed away further. "This is some kind of joke," he said, though his voice betrayed him. "No one would joke like that," Clara replied. And she was right, because there was something about the voice, something too real, too exact. To her, their mother finally spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "Don't open it." Clara turned to her. "Why?" A pause, heavy, painful. "Because we buried her." The words hung in the air, cold, final. But the knocking didn't stop. It continued, steady, patient, like it had all the time in the world. Clara stepped forward, slowly, drawn by something she couldn't explain. "Clara, no!" Daniel reached for her arm, but she pulled away. "What if it's really her?" she said, her voice shaking. "It's not," their mother snapped, too quickly. too harshly. Clara stopped, turned. Then who is it? No answer, only silence. And then, Clara, please. The voice cracked this time, filled with something new, desperation. Tears welled up in Clara's eyes, because that wasn't just a voice anymore. That was emotion. That was memory. That was someone she had loved, someone she had lost. I have to know, she whispered. Her hand reached for the door. Her mother stepped forward suddenly. Don't, she said again. But this time, there was something different in her tone. Not fear, not confusion. Something else, something deeper, something like guilt. Clara noticed it. Mum, she said slowly, what aren't you telling us? The room went still. The knocking stopped completely. And for a moment, everything felt quiet, too quiet, until a soft voice right outside. I didn't die that night. Clara's breath caught. Her mother closed her eyes, because the truth was already unraveling. I was there, the voice continued. I remember everything. Daniel shook his head. No, this isn't happening. But it was, and deep down, they all knew it. Clara turned the handle. Slowly, carefully, the door creaked open, and standing there was her. Same face, same eyes, same presence. But something about her was different. She looked older, not by years, but by experience, by something she had gone through. Clara, she said softly. Clara couldn't move, couldn't speak, because the impossible was standing right in front of her. You're, Clara whispered. I know, she said. They told you I was dead. Daniel stepped forward cautiously. This isn't possible. But she looked at him and smiled. A small, familiar smile, the kind you don't forget. Hi, Daniel. He froze, because no one else could have known that. Not like that. Not in that way. Their mother stepped forward slowly, her face pale, her hands shaking. You shouldn't be here, she said. The girl's expression changed. Not anger, not sadness, something heavier. I didn't have a choice, she replied. Silence fell between them, thick, uncomfortable, because now it wasn't just about her being alive. It was about why. What happened? Clara asked, her voice barely holding together. The girl looked at their mother, long, steady. You should ask her, she said quietly. All eyes turned, and in that moment, everything shifted, because the truth was no longer hiding. Their mother's lips parted slightly, but no words came out, only tears. And that was enough to understand that this wasn't just a miracle. It was a secret that had been buried for 7 years, right alongside a lie. She wasn't supposed to survive, the girl said softly. Clara's heart dropped. What? The room felt smaller, colder, heavier. There was no accident, she continued. Daniel shook his head. That doesn't make sense. But their mother didn't deny it, didn't correct it, didn't speak at all. And that silence said everything. I tried to come back, the girl said. I tried to tell you, but they made sure I couldn't. Who? Clara asked, her voice breaking. Another pause, another look. This time, not just at their mother, but at the house, at everything you thought was real. Clara felt her world shifting beneath her, because suddenly nothing made sense anymore. Not the past, not the present, not even the girl standing in front of her. "You left me," the girl whispered, not accusing, just stating. And somehow that made it worse. "I didn't know," Clara said, tears falling now. "I know," she replied, a small, sad smile. "But now you do." Silence filled the space again. But this time it wasn't empty. It was full of truth, of consequences, of everything that had been hidden for too long. Because sometimes the dead don't come back to haunt you. They come back to reveal what was buried with them. And that night, everything changed, because the girl they thought they had lost had returned, not just to be seen, but to be heard. And this time, there was no burying the truth again.